What is up? Welcome back to the Huddle, the number one flooring podcast in the world, on the planet, in the United States. We actually do have some international listeners. So we're here every week to help you guys gain forward progress in your career. Simply put, we're here to help you win. For all our new viewers, welcome to the team. What's up, fellas?
What's
How's
going
it
on, brother?
going?
Well, I tried to sneak in a little last minute snack, and I'm still trying to finish that up real quick here.
What were you eating?
Kind of threw me off. I'm not
Daniel wanted
saying
to know
because I
what.
know what you and your brother are going to say if I tell you what I'm eating. Let's just say this is a
Come on, brother.
only a PG-13 show.
Oh, oh yeah. Just there's just only been a couple slip ups where might have
Yeah,
ventured
might
outside of
catch
that.
that plus 16 or that R rating. All right, well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Glad you're here. Want to chat with the boys, see how the week's been going, and jump into a quick topic. But before we do that, I want to say thank you to the NAFCT and Divergent Adhesives. They are today's show sponsor. And, if you are looking for training, you're looking to increase your skill, the NAFCT is running amok. They got all kinds of training coming up. Daniel completed one maybe a couple months ago or a month ago for Flash Cove Heat Weld. There are some others coming up. They also have their new training portal. I believe it is live, their training hub, and that will get you automatic BTI ranking from any of the courses that you attend, including the online course that you have to take, for example, for the floor prep certification training. There's an online piece, and then you pick after you've completed that and passed it, then you can pick from several different upcoming. I know one is in Dallas in September, I believe. I'm gonna start. We're gonna start sharing those dates. I'll start getting those
Yeah,
dates up
I
for
know
you
they got
guys.
one coming up over in Calhoun too, I believe, and it's like I think Andy's doing the modular resilient, and then you have this one tagged onto the end too, so you can get two certifications at the same time.
Yep.
Dope.
So NAFCT has done a lot of really great stuff trying to keep the costs down and travel affordable, to keep the time frame that you have to be there hands on. Uh, so they have a few, at least on the floor prep side, they have a few. Um, they have a lot of trainings coming up, but you take the online portion first, you pass that, and then you pick whichever one of the in persons. And I believe those are just, and like Daniel just said, sometimes they'll tack them on to the backside of another training, trying to keep that cost down, keep your skills up. That is the way of the NAFCT. Also want to mention Divergent Adhesives and make sure that, if you guys are looking for one of them adhesives that are going to pull you out of one of them tight schedules, you need a really good adhesive for moisture situations. They also have a one coat moisture mitigation system that's really good. And so I encourage you guys to click that QR code, go over to Divergent Adhesives website, connect with them, find your local distributor. If you don't have one, buy direct. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, get that good adhesive. All right. Well, again, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks for everybody who's already joining us today. We got a kind of we like to come up with these topics that are a little bit, it's not always about flooring. It just always goes right back to to flooring. But today's topic is respect is earned long before you're the expert. I think that kind of stands with the skilled trades in general, but it also kind of goes across life. So, what do you guys
Yep.
think about the topic? I forget which one of us came up with that one, but it's one of ours. What you got to say about the topic, guys? Let's
Yeah,
open it
who
up.
knows? The I'll just go ahead and start. Just the whole topic in itself. You're right. It doesn't necessarily have to just be flooring related, right? It's and I just had a conversation about this with the crew yesterday. So yesterday I went to the one of our projects and I was on site. We have a communication issue with leadership right now, right? Leadership isn't communicating very well with the crews, which is causing a lot of pushback and it's I didn't go there with intentions of just running the day. I just went there and just seen a need and I filled in the voids. And we talked about everything and we had that conversation where I didn't ask for people to view me as a leader. It was kind of bestowed upon me. And it was only gifted to me because of work ethic and how much I involved myself in whatever we were doing. Um, Believe it or not, I'm not that shy, but and I voice my opinion, right? But I'm also one of the first ones to go ahead and dive in elbow deep into a bucket full of shit if that's what it requires, right? And I'm not afraid to do that. I know that there's soap and water, and I could clean myself up. So that conversation was had, and I come to the realization that maybe delivery of of delegating tasks was not optimal, and maybe it could be approached a different way. And that's where that respect thing, right, was given, right? Like you got to
What
continuously
is respect? Like what when we say that, what is it?
recognition, right? Is recognition that if someone's thought process or someone's process period might be of value to anyone and everyone around them, regardless of how small their contribution might be to the situation. So that's like one variation of respect to me, right? You put me on the spot, brother. I don't have a dictionary in front of me. Come on, man.
Well, I you know, I thought that a good spot to start would be really understanding, because one of the things that I've always found fascinating with people um, is the type of person that's like, you best respect me or you're gonna respect me. So is it, you know, is this a forced thing? Like, you're gonna force me to respect you? Because when people say it like that, it's like, okay, I'm gonna fear you into respect, or I'm gonna force you into respect.
Man, that's
And so that's always come to mind, that that ain't respect, is it? That's fear. That's like doing something because you're gonna be you're
Punished.
punished if you don't. Loyalty is another one of those words that I hear
mhm.
thrown around. That it's like I've had some meetings that really called to question people's understanding of loyalty when they talk about their crews and such, and they'll say, we have loyal crews, but we don't want them to, be able to have the ability to find other places to work. I'm like, well, that's not loyalty, is it?
That's
I
not
mean,
loyalty. That's
loyalty
not trust either.
kind of indicates that you have options. Um, so anyway, respect as a definition, maybe not the you know clinical definition, is just what I was curious of your guys's understanding of when you want. We all say we want respect, right? Like that's a kind of a natural human thing to say that. But what does it mean when you say you want the respect?
Well, I think just starting out like the control is there's a level of respect that everyone has for one another right away, right? Until someone continuously does something wrong or does something you don't like, or maybe you don't like the way someone's nose looks and you just don't respect them because of that. I don't know. But it's uh uh, it's a mutual thing between me and someone else. I respect everyone until I feel disrespected. Um, right?
And that's what I'm saying. What does it mean when you respect other people? What does it mean?
It just means that. They haven't done anything to upset me yet. I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot or
Oh, I love it.
whatever. Your brother sitting over there, he's the reason you're put on the spot because he could have jumped in,
No,
I could have, but
saved you.
he's listening.
I'm still doing things over here.
So,
Still getting us connected.
well, here, let's start over. You said something about it, something that's, best give me respect, right? Like, I get respect is commanded by some to some extent, right? Some people just walk in and they just have a vibe or an aura about them where respect is commanded. Or you might not have met someone and you've heard of them, so you respect what you've heard. Um, I would say I don't ever like demand respect. Shut up. Is that Daniel in there? I don't ever
No,
Nope,
demand
and that was Ashlyn.
I don't
our
ever
back
demand
end
it, right?
magic worker Ashland says that's
Yeah,
me.
if I don't really ever care if someone likes me or respects me, right? Just be respectful. You don't have to respect me in a whole, but just be respectful. And then
So
that's
that'd
my
be like being considerate, right?
be
Right.
considerate. Yeah, consider that I am always considering the fact that someone is better than me at everything that I do. Someone out there knows more than I know. Someone out there can get more done. Someone out there is working harder than I am. And I never judge anybody by the items I don't know. That's
Well,
respect.
the to me, respect it, being considerate to somebody or having somebody be considerate to you, I think is what we expect from our interactions with people until they're not considerate and then we're not considerate. But respect, they say it's earned. So
Right.
if respect is earned, then it's something that we desire as humans, at least most people, that respect, right? Um, that
Respect.
that is somebody giving a high regard to your opinions, to your possibly in some cases in an authoritative manner or authority, but
Hmm.
not always. You can respect people who you are their leader, right? Like so, it doesn't require authority. But at least this is my kind of thought about it is that you're given a high regard to their opinions. You have a high regard to their capabilities, and that also bleeds to trust. So to
Yep.
me, respect has an element of trust, and a lot of us, I think we give a certain amount of trust to anybody we meet. That's why we're not like in fight mode when you first meet somebody. Like, is he going to stab me or punch me or whatever? Like, you're not in fight mode when you first meet somebody. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt that that you can trust them to some extent, and then respect is earned through proving that trust correctly, proving
It's
that trust is
continuously earned.
right.
Yeah.
So you proving that somebody can trust you, and that's my definition of respect. And that's why it always cracks me up when you best respect me. Well, if it's earned through trust, which is essentially what I'm saying, I'm not sure that that's, you know, the Webster definition of it. But it's to me, it's earned through building trust, proving that I can trust you,
Mhm.
that I can
Yeah,
depend.
and when you talk about like coworkers and stuff, it makes a lot of sense, right? And then the issues always stem from, work ethic and stuff like that, right? I trust you, but then I'm working with you and you don't have the same work ethic. So this level of respect and trust starts going down, and it's like, come on, guys, like things can be built up too.
Yeah.
Like it's always so like just looking at it, like I've never gone into a room for a meeting and seen like a CEO or a COO come in and just think that they demand respect. They're always like the most down to earth people, come up, shake your hand, ask you
Yep.
questions. It was never, this is who I am, right? But then on the flip side, you see those videos on social media and where it's like, do you know? who my husband is, or do you know who
Who I
this
am,
person
you
that I know
best.
is? I know the owner, right? I know the owner here. It's like that
Yeah.
don't.
Well, that plays right to it. I mean,
Yeah.
where building up of trust is the respect, and that's where you said that CEOs like and COOs of big companies, they want to build trust. That's like good companies online and such. The whole purpose to be there is to build some trust with your people, with your customers, with your users, with your whatever. When you're building that, you want to do that. That's like one of the CEO's most important things is to build that trust. And if you build that trust, then they know that leads to respect. At least that's my hypothesis.
No, that's no. Go ahead.
Oh,
And
I was
thank
just
you,
Yeah,
popping
Kendall,
it
for
up.
the kind words,
Kendall
brother.
says anyone who knows Jose and Daniel of Preferred Flooring should be respecting these two brothers and Crystal as well, because these people are all in for us as a flooring nation. I like it. Flooring
Yeah, we
nation.
we appreciate that, brother. But they don't need to respect us. They don't need
Yeah,
to.
they do. I don't know where you're like, I don't need respect. Bull, man. I mean,
Well,
I think I know you well enough to challenge you on that. That like you're you're a knowledgeable guy. You're a trustworthy guy. Everything that I've every interaction I've had with you guys over the years, and it's been several now. It's not like we just met last week, you know, or last month. Um, is built on that trust and that respect. And I think that you desire respect. You can and it's good to desire respect is what I'm saying, because to get there, to really get true respect, at least in my definition of it, means that you're building trust. Well, you can't say building trust is a bad thing, is it? Right?
no,
So
no, not
that
at
that
all.
there's not much
And
bad can come out of it if it's done in that way. It's this old hood idea of respect, like you best respect me. That's no,
hey,
you best fear me, or you
you know,
Do
best,
you know who I am?
put
yeah.
me up on a higher pedestal than you. That's
Whenever
not
somebody
what
says
true
that,
respect is.
whenever somebody says that, or if that's what the image that they're giving off, I'll just probably look at Daniel and be like, they gonna learn today. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really good at dropping the one liner jabs in there that cut pretty deep. So and I don't at that point, if they're trying to demand it, I could care less if
Do
they
you think
respect
that
me
if
at the
they
end of the day.
demand it, they either A, don't understand it, or B, don't want to put in the work that it takes to get it for real?
Um, a combination of both, or maybe something's happened along the way to where they didn't get the recognition they felt that they deserved over and over. So now that they're in a position to where they have the proof and they have a track record, they kind of want it based on that. But unless everybody knows exactly who they are, what they've done, it's hard to just come or demand it like that. Like I don't know how else to explain that.
Well, it's just like if you think of sports like
Hmm.
basketball or what have you, one of the most well-respected people in sports was Michael Jordan. He
Hmm.
wasn't liked by everybody, though. A lot of his teammates talked about how much they disliked him, in fact. So it's not even about being liked, right? Because he would force them, like, force people to practice when they did not want to, force them to be the very best that they could be. And they respected him for that. They understood he was coming from a place that he was putting in the work. He wasn't just telling them to do something then not showing up to practice. He was there. He's famous for his practice regiment. I got to interview and sit down for several hours with his personal coach, and the the amount of work ethic that him and Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant, all three,
Hmm.
um, displayed created this command for respect that they didn't have to command. It was that presence you're talking about. That comes
It
from
was the work they were putting in, right? That stuff that you don't see. And
Yeah.
I've listened to
Tim Grover's
some of
his name, by the way.
the interviews, right? And they're like, yeah, you can go and practice for 2 hours a day just like everyone else, and you can be okay, right? It's what are you doing outside of those 2 hours that you're required to be there? And this is them talking to high school kids, right? And it's like, what are you doing with the rest of your time other than those 2 hours of you being there? That's the work that you put in that no one else sees. That makes, I mean, it makes yourself command the respect without even trying, right? It's like I don't, and I think it's like people ask me, they're like, or asking me or telling me what someone thinks of me, and it's like I honestly don't care what anyone thinks of me, which makes it that much better because I don't know, since I don't care, people just look to me a certain way, I think. But I'm sure that's how they are too. It's they don't care what people think about them. All they're doing is doing what they have to do in order to be the best they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your talk aligns with your actions, I think that grows respect faster than anything. So if you say, if they're saying talking about working hard, but they're not working hard, or putting in the extra time to learn their skill, whatever that is, whether it's basketball, football, flooring, electrical, whatever, it doesn't really matter. your your words matching with your actions, I think, is something that builds respect a lot because that shows people that they can trust you, right? If your words don't align with your actions, then people automatically start to distrust you, and that's where people may not respect you. Again, I don't care much that people like me or not. That's not my concern. But I do desire respect. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
want
mean,
to do the things. I want to be trusted. I want to be trustworthy. I want people to believe in me and believe in my hypotheses and my thoughts and follow the
yeah,
huddle and
I
listen
think
to these
Andy
here.
Williams put it best when he told me when I think we were at dinner one day or something. He was like, it's not my business what anyone thinks of me."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good.
That's to sum it all up. That's accurate.
Yeah. So Chad Bookie says also what leads to respect is time. He walks into job sites with lawyers, architects, dealers, installers, and they just constantly throwing questions at him, right? But he lets his reports do the talking. And I mean, I'm sure all of us have been on that side where it's like, I've been in there where I want to ask questions too, but I know I'm not going to get the answers. So I just refrain. But I've also been on the other side where I'm seeing everyone asking the questions and they're just like, I don't know, man. You got to be a certain type of person to be an inspector because you do have to walk through there and just give them something, but nothing at the same time.
Yeah, and
One,
on the
two, three, four,
inspector thing,
fifth.
you know what I'm saying on the inspector thing, it's that lines up dramatically. The inspectors that I do not respect at all are the ones who'll come out and say one thing and then their report says an absolute opposite thing. The good inspectors to me keep quiet, you know, tell them what you're seeing, but make no judgment and let their report do the talking, as Chad said. And as Kevin Keefe says, don't talk about it, be about it. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I could not agree more. But if you are going to talk about it, please do be about it. uh, Kendall
Mr.
says
Kendall.
you don't get any recognition unless you prove yourself. Guess what you, Daniel, and Crystal have done all of that. So if there's other people that don't like how you guys think,
Do
I
things maybe.
do things, well, too bad. You guys are the best at what you do. You know what
And
that is, we talk about, you guys talk about being preferred flooring. How you came up with the name was because
Mhm.
you're preferred, because you're better than other installers, and provably so. And doing it just as much as you talk about it is the whole key. That's again, I just believe that it's a trust thing. And when you say something, if you do it as well, then that's where trust is built and respect is built. And then we talked to, the rest of the topic is about before you're an expert. And I think that kind of leans to the fact that just because you're an expert doesn't mean you get respect. Like, just because
right.
you're the best at something also does not mean you're going to have a respect, because you can still be, full of what. And I think that's where people fall out of respect for you.
Yeah, it doesn't. What is it? You can do a million things right. It's the one thing you do wrong that everybody dwells on or everybody remembers. And that's where I was earlier in the conversation. We were talking about gaining or earning the respect, right? And it is, and like, I'm not even joking, you guys. This is a conversation we just had on job site yesterday, like fully organic conversation. And I was telling our guy Mike, I was like, respect is the thing that's earned, right? Like and it starts with trust. I trust you to do certain things. I trust him to do certain things. And if I delegate tasks, I trust that you guys are going to do those tasks and follow through, and you're going to do them well and to the standards that are required. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that's got to be continuous. It's not like, oh, I trust you now, I automatically trust you all the time, or I don't trust you now, I will never trust you again.
Or
It's
or
got
you
to be
give someone else
continuous.
or you give someone else that task the next time and they're like, "Oh, I guess that's not me anymore." And it's all
Yeah,
essentially getting butthurt at
yeah.
things that you shouldn't be
Oh, you
getting
didn't like the
butthurt.
way I did it. You're like, no, I love the way you do it. But what did I used to say? When I was coaching the adults, I was like, dude, because I'm coaching adults, right? I said, I got to sit you. I'm gonna put so and so in there. Like, oh, really? Like, I got to give them a chance to suck too. Like, come on now, you can't be the only one in there failing, right? And that's just it. It's people trust me to make decisions. Whether it's at work in the field, or I'm in the field
Or
as
it's
in at
home.
work in the field, at home. There's a level of trust, and I've only had to say it from my heart a couple times in my life. Like, come on, please trust me on this. I've only had to say that a couple times,
He
right?
said that
Because
to me when we started Preferred Flooring.
I did, and I did, and I said that to my wife when I took money out of our wedding fund, right? Like, it was like, do you trust me? She's like, yeah. And I
I
was
know.
like, well, then trust me. Then trust me. Like, come on, just
I don't even say that. All I like when me and Tanya talk about stuff, I always say, "Who you gonna believe, me or you?"
um,
So
but it just goes to I got a lot of examples of where I earned somebody's trust, and I do my best not to ever get rid of that. Like, I Daniel, trust me, I earned that. I don't ever want to do anything to lose that. Right? It's like, that's
Kev,
just because my word my word is important to me, and that's the trust thing, and then that's the respect thing, and it all lines up like dominoes, right? It can come crashing down, or you can keep setting them up and setting them up. The longer you build the trust, right? Maybe the more dominoes you have, maybe the harder it is, or the longer it takes for all of them to fall. But at the same time, it's you're building that with everybody around you.
we got
Kevin
a theme
said that
going here.
you're only as good as the last job you did.
And then
Chad says you're
Chad,
only good as your last inspection or your last
your last report.
report. Um,
So
yeah, well, I tend to agree with that, but I also, we all mess up or have a bad job or don't do the absolute perfect job we could have on occasion. I think that also being there, like that that you are that they can trust that you are going to be there to take care of the issue, come and care about their problem, like not running from issues or mistakes, but owning them and doing your best to do the right thing. I think that builds respect as well. Now, most of this is saying you're only as good as you know, that is definitely the bottom line is people are going to remember the last project you did for them, or your last comment, your
Mm.
last kind of
Your last email, your last
interaction.
whatever that
Yeah,
interaction is,
Hmm.
right? And then like that Jorge says that you have to envision the completed project, play it in your head, each scenario, then execute. When you think this way, most of the time it pans out well, right? And
that's
you're
great
talking, we're
advice.
talking, your last project, and when you plan like that and then start executing, that's the thing. It's when you do start hitting these, I don't know, roadblocks, bumps in the road, right? Speed bumps. It's all about how are you gonna just move on to that next thing, get that taken care of, so you can give them a finished product at the end. It's never, oh, that cut is gonna pass, right?
Yeah, I
And
hate that term. Uh, leave it for the punch list.
Oh my goodness,
Oh
dude.
and
man,
it's not, it's taking care of everything before it gets to that point. It's looking at something and knowing, okay, this is not right, I'm going to take care of this right now. Because, and I like to tell the guys, it's like, if you see it, do something, right? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, but I'm notorious, this guy's notorious for, it'll be 4:30, it's the end of the day, and I'm doing my walkthrough, and it's like, this ain't right, this ain't right, bring the tools back in.
Dude, I can't change that part of me. Yeah, yesterday, when I was on the job site, I lose track of time, and I did tell the guys, hey, you have to remind me of what time it was. We had our Monday meeting, it was extended. We got there a little bit late, and in my head, it was lunchtime. It was 12 o'clock, but on the
And it was
clock, it
already
said
four.
2 p.m. It said 2 p.m. And I'm like, let's glue this. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And then as they started gluing, I looked at the time and I was like, I got to take a little bit off, dial it back a little bit and say, you know what? You're right. It's later than I thought. Let's snap a line, right? And we'll call it a day out here. Let's hit this milestone. And I did do that at the beginning of the day. I was like, glue it all up. We got it. 3 hours, watch. And it was like 3.5. I was pretty close, right? I'm a little rusty. Haven't been installing every day for a while. Um, but we started hitting all that, and then they that trust, right? I haven't been in the field in a minute, and to work with the crews, they trusted me right away. They were remembering what I used to do and who I used to be on the installs, and they trusted me from what I've proven to them in the past. I
somebody
almost
asked.
lost their trust by gluing up the rest of that area. I'll be honest. So I almost lost it, but
Well, I don't
we
know if you'd lose their trust. You may lose their
the respect for a minute.
their motivation.
Motivation.
Yeah.
But somebody said something in the comments about can you be is anyone an expert or something of that
Yeah, that was
nature?
Kendall
Yeah, I
right
think that
here.
there are
So
experts.
is anyone actually an expert at anything? I'm sure most people will say no. They think that they know better when we walk into a job site, but I there are experts, is what you're getting at, right, Paul? You can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I believe there are experts. That doesn't mean that they are you know irrefutable or that they
Hmm.
can't be wrong. That would be the misuse of the word expert and misuse of the idea of being an expert. An expert is more of a, in my opinion, more of a listener, more of a learner than a braggadocious, I'm the expert here. Um,
Right.
most of the time, the true experts that I like, man, I thought I was good, but this dude, at whatever, um, they're consummate learners. They're not out there like, well, I'm the expert. Now, once in a while, you have to. I mean, I got into a conversation. We're dealing with an issue on an exterior tile installation, little effervescence issue. Um, but I get with the uh, with the contractor, and he's like, "Well, we called our expert," and I said, "Well, who's that?" He gave me the name, and I was like, "Okay, well, what
What makes them an expert?
qualifies him as an expert?" Well, we worked with him for many years, and I'm like, "Well, you've worked with me for 25, so am I an expert in your opinion?" Well, yeah, but we just needed another expert. Okay, so like you're here you're kind of beating around the bush here. You accidentally called somebody an expert that may just be a good tile company owner who, by the way, is no longer in business. So if they're no longer in business, maybe they retired, what have you. But the point being is we're still in this day in, day out, uh, dealing with the new installation methods, new requirements for whether it's exterior tile or cleating or these things that you got to do on a large tile install, having the right thin sets and the right grouts and the things like that. But still, there's a possibility uh, that somebody doesn't want to hear that you're an expert because they don't like what you're saying.
Right.
Right?
They don't agree with it, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't favor them
It
or their
doesn't. It
opinions.
doesn't bode well for the result they want. Well, that's not. So yes, I guess that's a little bit of a rabbit hole. But the bottom line is,
No, and
I do
and you're
believe.
right, right? Because I think that goes back to the respect thing because you look at these experts and then you respect them because you see them and then they come at you and when you do have questions for them, they don't just say, "Oh no, that's not it." It's they listen and then they process and then they come back with an answer that is tailored to your question. And
Yeah.
sometimes, you give them something and they're not they're always learning, right? Like you said. So they're never like brushing you off. It's he might have something to say that I would have never thought about before, and then they
I
just soak
also
all that information in.
I also like the guys that will just tell you, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm gonna check into it. I'm gonna get with my folks, or I'm gonna do this or that or the other. I'm gonna find the answer out for you. Those are to me like true experts, like that
Yes.
that that,
An
that are.
expert doesn't have to regurgitate or give you an answer right away, right? But a true expert will know how to find an answer for you, regardless if it's in their toolbox or somebody else's. They'll find a way to get you the information you need. Um, and that is another way of looking at it, I guess. Um, and go ahead with Rollins' comment there, Daniel.
Yeah, Rollins
That's a
says
good one.
that Paul hit the nail on the head. He always says the lion doesn't have to tell you he's a lion. You just know.
Yeah, that's a great
You
one.
do just know. I do like that.
So Kendall says he's correct on, or we were correct on what he was asking. Sure, they may be an expert on some stuff, but a lot of the times it's just BS, right? And I think that's where the respect comes in too, right? To if you know some stuff and then you're talking to someone that says that they do, and you're like, this is not even close to what you should be talking about. So you end up losing respect for them right away.
Yeah, and I'm also not saying that everybody who claims to be an expert is an expert. So you're definitely going to come across people who claim to be experts at things that are not, and that is where you lose respect for them, right? And so in Kendall's scenario, yeah, there's guys that will say they're an expert. They talk out the side of their neck, you know, puke a bunch of BS, and
Oh,
you can't trust them, and you at that point that's where respect is lost. There's I think it's Seneca or one of those old philosophers that said and I like the saying, it kind of applies, but it's like when you're coming into a scenario, he would ask, are you seeking for understanding or just to prove your point? Like, are you seeking validation or understanding? I think that's how it goes. And that's something to always remember, I think. And that's where somebody who's good at what they do, they want to seek understanding of the scenario. They want to seek understanding of if it's a doctor, a good doctor wants to seek, they are seeking understanding of what your body's going through, right? Not just have a predisposed kind of uh, uh, diagnosis and then try to prove themselves right. That's not a good doctor, right? And we know those where you're like, yeah, I went to this doctor and told me I had, XYZ and
Mm.
gave me this and shooed me out the door. And now I went to a specialist, to a true expert in the field, and they did all these tests and ran all these things to really understand what my body was telling them. And I have XYZ, and they gave me the right treatment, and I feel 1,000 times better. I've heard that story from multiple people, you know, that type of a story. So,
I've lived that story, brother.
yeah. Well, I got a buddy who, God bless him, has been through so much medical misdiagnosis. His name's Kirk Martin. Really good dude. But he had been misdiagnosed with all these different things, and then when he finally was found out about it, it was, I wouldn't say too late, but he had a heart attack, and and then they were able to identify what was wrong with his ticker and all that, and he's getting better now. But you know, the truth is that's where that Seneca, I think it's Seneca that said it. Do you seek validation or understanding?
I think what it sounds like is that all this stuff is based on science because you're always seeking something, right? And you're looking for that answer, whether or not you have to be open to change.
Maybe based on truth. I
Yeah.
mean, science, because there's just not a scientific, you know, application for everything. You got people's emotions and different stuff that come involved. Probably, as if you're referring to a doctor, you're probably, even way right with that comment. That's bad English. Way right, but you're probably correct in that from a doctor's perspective. But when you start talking about the trades, there's so many variables within what we do, particularly in flooring, that that's where inspectors, I think, and installers have to really try to understand the scenario, what happened. That's I've been in, had inspectors do work for me, and when they ask the questions that are like, well, what was site conditions? How was it, when was the contractor really pushing you guys? Like, they seem to already understand the pressure and the real world application that we have to go through as installers and contractors. Those are my favorite inspectors, the ones who already kind of understand the business. They're not just coming in looking for where
Right.
can I
Where can
blame.
I point to that says
Yeah,
it's your fault?
yeah.
It's I know there was how much pressure was put on you to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
And Rollins
Yeah.
says he always says when he's the smartest in the room, he's in the wrong room. When you stop learning, your mind starts dying. And I mean, I look at Rollin as an expert, and I've looked at him as an expert since I before I met him, right? But then we started
Same.
talking about classes and stuff, and I asked him if he was going to come and take one of my classes. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll come take one of your classes. I'm sure I can learn a lot."
That dude just loves learning, man.
Dude, we
That's
all
why
love
he's
learning.
so good.
We all love learning. That's why we're here right now. You know what I mean? Because some of the best lessons learned are when you're helping someone else learn and when you're sharing information. You can have those aha moments, and I love it. I love learning. I love getting my hands dirty. I like being a part of the process all the time on everything that I do. It just,
Going back to almost the entire thread talks about like being about it, and that's what you're talking about is like being about that learning. Really invest in your your time and effort and um, money in many cases to becoming better. No expert became an expert by not doing that. I'll tell you that 100%.
yeah,
Another thing that kind of stood out in this conversation is that the we all agree that it's never demanded. Like the really good ones, think Roland comes to mind. He never just tells me how good he is. He brags more on his education and his love of learning every time I'm around him, that more so than he does his ability to get something done. And then he almost always projects like the goodness on people that helped him get
yeah,
something done on his jobs. And that's another clear sign of somebody who's a lot better than they're letting off.
like that. And that was the first time when I first met Roland too. Like we just started walking and talking, and we were just talking about situations. Like, I'll be honest, like I didn't know who he was. I went with Daniel. I didn't know who anybody was. I went as Daniel's brother, right to the first that event, and we walked and talked with many people. But Roland, we had a very long conversation on what we've experienced and scenarios, and we didn't brag about anything. We just kind of talked like, hey, what'd you do on this? Or have you ever had this happen to you? And he's like, yeah, this is what I did. I was like, oh yeah, man, I should have thought about that. And what about you? Oh, I've done this. And he's like, oh, I should have thought about it, and we just bounced ideas off of each other. And at the end of the trip, once someone presented his accolades, right? And it was like he could have just totally ignored my conversation and ignored me as we were walking, and I was asking questions that might have been a little redundant. He could have just ignored all of that, but he didn't. So for that, Mr. Rowland, you earned my respect, right? Like,
Maybe even just reinforced it because you already had it
yeah, I already
before.
had it,
I
right?
mean, you're talking about the topic to a T. You already had respect for him before you found out that he was an expert, and it just reinforced it all. You
Yep,
know?
and just the thought that someone who has extensive knowledge like that was entertaining conversation about scenarios with me was fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it.
All right, guys. Well, we're coming up at the end of the podcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you for all the comments and back and forth there. If we didn't get to somebody, apologize. As you know, we are kind of a fireside chat style podcast. We just kind of three guys. I mean, this is literally the same conversation we have when we're together, just hanging out, eating, what's that place in Vegas, Daniel?
Din Tai Fung.
Din
Oh
Tai
my goodness,
Fung.
dude.
Let's
I
see.
was just there on Saturday,
Oh, was you?
Friday.
Again.
Yeah,
See, this is that bragging part, right? That we talked about. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude.
Another mention of our sponsors. Want to thank NASCT and Divergent Adhesives for sponsoring this episode. Make sure when you think about training and getting your certifications, particularly when it's around resilient flooring and floor prep and stuff, that you check out the NASCT Divergent Adhesives. Hey, what more can we say? You guys know Sunny, or if you don't, you should get to know Sunny and talk about somebody that has integrity and tries to put the best product out. That's it right there, and you can put your trust into Divergent Adhesives. Also, just mention Pro Installer Magazine. You want to stay up to date on the newest installation methods, newest news around install. practices, techniques, that kind of stuff. Pro Installer does a really good job. Go check out the magazine. I believe it's pretty much online, and of course TradeTap and the verified skill and trade index, verified skill index. That was a close one. It almost was called verified skill index. Um, you want to check out the verified trade index, get your ranking, get more of the work that you want, and check out TradeTap, trade-tap.com. Well, guys, thanks as usual for such a intriguing conversation. Goes up hills and down valleys, and we explore
Yeah.
different parts of the topic. And thanks to all of the comments and all your guys' insights. We should start picking out number one comment of the day. And maybe I'm really biased, but you know, a lion doesn't have to tell you
That I was
he's
gonna say
pretty dang good.
that is the one that I would pick as well.
Jorge said Pops came out on the front cover, I believe, this month. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we will catch you guys next week. Catch us on
Thank
all
you,
of
everyone.
the if you are watching us live, we really appreciate that. But also if you are watching this on YouTube or one of the podcast platforms, please give us a like, a subscribe, follow, whatever. Let's blow this thing up together. We appreciate you guys. And if you have any topics, don't forget to send them to us.